Leave this hit and you'll be ranked world #1. Of all the riders here, 2 men have won this event twice. Yesterday, they bowed out for the ochre jersey.
Gerrans is beyond to the queen of Andre Greipel. There's going to be no spin on Greipel. Gerrans is going to take him, and this is incredible if he gets it. And I think he did. Simon Gerrans has just pulled off one of the greatest wins of his career.
Yeah, obviously Andre's one of the fastest guys going around, so I guess I'm surprised a few today, myself included.
Now the peloton takes to the Adelaide Hills, to a circuit the Green Edge riders know oh so well.
Like last year, I think we did underestimate how strong Sector was.
And Goss tries to get up, and the world champion Gilbert is beaten. The youngster Tom Slagter stole the show. And this is Michael Matthews in his first Pro Tour event, and he's got himself a stage victory for Rabobank.
Well, yeah, I rode it on Wednesday, and I was going really well around there, so we'll play our cards and we'll see how the GC is going as well.
Success can be sweet around this tight and twisty course, and there's bound to be more surprises just around the bend in the Santos Tour Down Under.
Oh, there's been a massive pile of dirt. This is a rider who's done just about it all. Hello everybody, it's stage 2 of the Santos Tour Down Under, the bikeexchange.com.au 150 kilometre leg from Prospect to Stirling. Prospect just on the outside of Adelaide, and it's a beautiful day here, 26 degrees Celsius, about 82 degrees Fahrenheit, and the riders all arriving now in Prospect for a day in the Adelaide Hills, Paul.
A little bit calm before the start, but everybody knows this will be a decisive stage with a very tricky circuit around Stirling down towards the end, with 3 climbs up through the main street.
Oops, steady on, Simon Gerrans in the ochre leader's jersey. Let's have a look how he got to wear that jersey on this second day. We raced into Angerston, and can you believe it, Simon Gerrans on the left, taking on the champion of Germany, Andre Greipel, in a straight-off sprint. And it was the Australian champion who got over the line first. There is Andre Greipel. He'll be out for revenge today, I suggest.
Well, he's finished twice in second position. He's not the kind of man to lie down. Neither is Jens Voigt either, riding now for the Trek Factory Racing Team. A very popular man here in Australia. So too is this man, former world champion Cadel Evans.
Cadell signing in. He's lying 9th overall in this race, but only 11 seconds off the overall lead. Simon Gesker's higher place than that. All the riders have their own agenda today, Paul, 150 kilometres as we race away from really Adelaide itself, from Prospect into the Adelaide Hills.
Yes, they move away for this 150 kilometre ride. There's not very much flatlands either as we go through Salisbury and Elizabeth. Over the first King of the Mountains at Seaview Road, but a much more difficult climb at Checker Hill after 56 kilometres covered. But for me, it's all the sting in the tail. It's the 2 laps around Stirling on a very tough and testing course.
Yes, it really is a tough undulation. It's a well-tried circuit throughout the history of this event, and it's always give us a good race as the riders now prepare to start from Prospect. 136 riders rolling away, sadly without Australian David Tanner, nor the Spanish rider Jose Rojas, because they both crashed and broke bones yesterday.
A normal neutralised start for the riders to get them out of town and onto the safety of the open roads before they pull in the neutralised flag and racing starts in earnest. Everybody looking forward to this stage, knowing that stage 2 is going to be a very critical stage to control.
Will Clark in the red on the far right there is looking quite interesting as the 3 riders are trying to form a little breakaway. Clark is the number 3 rider in red. Looks like Campbell Flakemore is the boy in white, and Boy Van Poppel is the professional rider from Holland in the all-black strip of Trek.
Well, actually, just looking at the main field, Phil, they're spreading right out across the road, and that's an indication to me that they've actually started to slow down now. The moment is to see if anybody counter-attacks to come across at this group of 3.
A little flick of the elbow from Clark there says they're not chasing, boys. This could be the move. He was in the breakaway all day yesterday. Of course, he came to Nords right at the end of the day, but he's willing to have a go again. You're right, Paul. The peloton have eased away the morning breakaway, and they've turned off the power. This takes the pressure off the race's leaders when they allow 3 riders away. The best man in this 3-man group is Boy Van Poppel, and he's just over 2 minutes behind, 2:32 overall. As we go to the first sprint, they're not interested. Boy Van Poppel goes through in first place. Clark and Flakemore, very small time bonuses, 3, 2 and 1 second. Not important to these riders. The best placed rider in this breakaway after day one is Van Poppel. He's 2 minutes and 32 seconds off the ochre jersey of Gerrans.
Yes, he's the rider in the black jersey there with number 43 on his back. More interesting to the breakaway group, though, will be the King of the Mountains looming up a little bit further on the road. Golden Grove and Checker Hill.
Will Clark on the attack almost the whole of yesterday's stage. He's doing it again today for Drapac. And meanwhile, it's the white jerseys of Orica Green Edge who are controlling the peloton. Well, that's the finishing line here at Golden Grove. It's not a very long climb, about 1,000 metres. A sharp left-hand bend just as we come up to that last 200-kilometre point. And Clark at the back stretching his legs, and he's having a go, and he looks like he wants to make that corner first. Campbell Flakemore saw it coming. Boy Van Poppel, more a sprinter. He won the 3-second sprint earlier on at One Tree Hill. Not interested in the Skoda King of the Mountains points. That's the hairpin bend. And now Clark will see the finishing line here, and a good, powerful acceleration. The 21-year-old Flakemore doesn't have that sort of stamina just yet. So 10 points in the Skoda King of the Mountains for Clark.
Well, Clark, a second day in a row he's been on the attack, but he must be casting his mind back 2 years, because it was on this stage that the breakaway that he was in survived, and he got himself the stage victory in Stirling. Indeed
he did. That was back in 2012. I'm sure it's in the forefront of his mind. Luke Durbridge on the right here, and Adam Hansen coming away. He wears the green-spotted King of the Mountains leaders jersey here. And he's being challenged, actually, as he comes up towards the line. Axel Domon trying to get on top of him. And there again, that sharp left-hand bend. Now, as Adam Hansen, the Queenslander, got it in those legs to make the correction, because he needs these points with Clark challenging. And yes, he has. That keeps him in the lead.
Well, you know, once you've got the lead in a competition like that, that gives you a little bit of extra inspiration. I feel that Hansen, looking down there at number 32, I think he's got the inspiration to try and win the King of the Mountains competition at the Santos Tour Down Under. He won't continue with his effort now. He'll wait for the main field to catch him up.
Oh, that's terrible. What's the first thing you'd do if someone told you they'd been burgled? You'd help. Don't worry, we'll get this sorted out. At More Than, we won't interrogate you or pass you around the building. We'll just do all we can to help, like any decent person would.
Thank you.
No problem. Glad I could help. More Than, where you mean more.
Check this out. The mega box. Chicken, fries, hot wings and gravy for under £4.
Now that's big.
With lots of features.
Mega box! Nisha, you know this can't last. Why? 'Cause it's an egg. Yeah.
Have a fling with a cream egg!
From the creators of No Country for Old Men and True Grit comes a film that is heartfelt and utterly enthralling. A perfectly pitched masterpiece. A tour de force. The best film of the year. Don't miss the Academy Award-nominated Inside Llewyn Davis in cinemas Friday.
With Sky TV, you get the UK's widest range of catch-up channels. So if you miss a show because you're out, or you're busy, you can unmiss it at no extra cost. That's the Sky difference.
This is the button that could start the journey to a firmer, flatter stomach from 4 weeks. Slender Tone. Start here.
Tim, show Joel how everything you touch turns into Skittles.
That's awesome.
Is it awesome? Excuse me.
Touch the rainbow. Taste the rainbow.
Catch live sport on the go with Vodafone 4G. The only 4G with Sky Sports Mobile included.
When you're selling your car, you can often get knocked down on the price.
and whoa, it's not nice. But with WeBuyAnyCar.com's price guarantee, if your car is in the condition you say it is, we guarantee to pay the price we quote. So, no nasty surprises. To get a guaranteed price, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
There you go, sir.
For a free bet on both teams to score, talk to Victor.
Specially selected vegetables and richly spiced sauces with fluffy steamed rice. That's my delicious Uncle Ben's rice time. Begin with Ben.
Welcome to Hotels.com. Let's find you a room. Yep. As the hotel experts, finding you the perfect place is all we do. Hotels.com. Wake up happy.
I honestly had no idea just how lawless and how violent this country actually is.
He's been to some of the world's most dangerous streets.
Somebody who came from behind and just listened.
But what he was about to witness,
Sit down!
even he couldn't have expected.
Sit down. Are you going to kill me?
The brand new series, Ross Kemp Extreme World, Tuesday at 9, Sky 1 HD.
Well, these boys won't be too interested in anything but getting through to the finish today in Stirling. As you can see, we're high summer here in Australia and the ground is parched, but the riders thinking of those three men in front.
Well, Turbo Durbo, Luke Durbridge on the front there, followed by Matty Gosser. They've picked up the pace quite dramatically here, and you can see the main field is stretched out into a very long line, and that, I think, Phil, bodes badly for the breakaway group of three riders. And the main field are taking this three-man breakaway quite serious because they're not letting them have very much freedom at all off the front end.
Campbell Flatemore setting the pace here. Boy Van Poppel, this is the main pack going past the chain of ponds as they head towards the same venue. The gap is not extensive. They've kept control of this breakaway all day. And it's still Orica Green Edge with two of their team on the front setting the pace. Now here we go, OGE, that's Orica Green Edge's abbreviation, not in the breakaway, but of course Simon Gerrans has the ochre jersey on. This is the climb of Checker Hill now. It's given a second category, not the steepest climb in the Santos Tour Down Under, but believe me, the riders may not agree. As they come around the corner here in this last 400 metres, it's a real struggle up here.
Very, very steep indeed. Boy Van Poppel in the black jersey there of the Trek Factory team. He will not be enjoying this. He's much more of a sprinter, as we see Will Clark just coming forward. A little bit of a psychological battle with the young rider on the inside, Flatemore.
And at 184, Will Clark here now starts to accelerate a little bit. If he gets the 10 points over the top of this hill, it will give him 20. And if Adam Hansen doesn't get the fourth and only place left on this climb, then Will Clark will be the leader in the Skoda King of the Mountains competition tonight.
Well, Flakemore's made a move there, trying to catch them unawares, but a big response there coming from Will Clark in the red.
Well, Flakemore's made the right decision, but Will Clark, I think, is going to be too quick. It's going to be close. My goodness me, it is Clark, but only by the width of his racing tyre there. And he gets the 10 points. Now he has to wait and see if he rides in the green spotted jersey tomorrow. There's the acceleration by Flakemore.
Well, there's no panic at all by Will Clark. He allows Flakemore to make that first acceleration, but he's got the kick. Look at the response there as he comes up, judges it to perfection, just throws his bike a little bit at the line. It wasn't a big win, but it was enough.
It was indeed. Now it's a very quick descent this. The boys can get up to 80 or 90 kilometres an hour. Let's start with 80 kilometres an hour. It's 50 miles an hour as they go down here. The reason it's so fast is, Paul, there's no bends on the way down. You just fly.
Just move your hands away from the brakes and get into a tucked aerodynamic position, just like a downhill ski racer, and you can pick up those speeds very, very quickly indeed.
Looking at Will Clark here now. On 2 occasions, the winner of this stage in the years gone by has gone on to win this race overall. Last year it was Tom Slackler who won the race overall, and Alan Davis also did it, winning the stage and taking final victory in 2009. Will Clark has certainly won this stage. He didn't go on to win the race, and he's the man in the middle today.
Well, he's sandwiched right in the middle there. He will be happy with his ride so far on today's stage, because he's got himself a whole host of points in the King of the Mountains competition. That's a competition that will go right down to the very final day as they come up towards the sprint point here. It doesn't look as if there's been going to be any competition for this. And for Simon Gerrans, Phil, all of the time bonus is taken away by the first 3 men to cross the line,
which in effect helps Simon Gerrans as well. It stops the fancied riders stealing these all-time bonuses. They're not even going to bother to sprint. They're going to go over with Will Clark, Boy Van Poppel and Campbell from that order across the line. Not interested. Don't forget that overall Flakemore is 8 minutes 19 behind. Will Clark is 8 minutes and 14 seconds behind, and Boy Van Poppel, he could be dangerous if this goes up any more this break. He's only 2 minutes and 32 seconds behind.
Again, Orica Green Edge, white, green and gold on their jerseys as they do all of the tempo making. And never very far away, these riders in the red and white jerseys of Lotto Bellator, slightly different design to that jersey this year. They're looking after the interests of Andre Greipel, who, Phil, I have to say, is riding very, very close to the front, as too is the Russian rider Maxim Belkov of Team Katusha.
Will Clark is about to be swept up because the counter moves are starting.
Yeah, very serious moves are coming off the front there, because all of a sudden Team Sky taking a very serious interest in this acceleration coming at the front. That was Phil Duignan trying to toughen the race up, maybe for something coming a little bit later on by Richie Porte. They want to pull this all back together. We haven't yet come to the finishing line as the 2 heroes of the day are about to get pulled back into the fold.
And again, the uncanny timing of professional cyclists at this World Tour level. 1 lap to go. They put the field all back together again. And now we're going to be treated to a very action-packed final circuit. There's the bell. Will Clark looks over his shoulders. Go back 2 years. He was throwing both hands in the air on that finishing line as the winner of the stage here in Stirling. Now the peloton are eating him up. 21 kilometres, 1 lap left to go. Take the last drink, Will, you're going to need it.
This is one of those breakaways we can just see moving clear now, where somebody gets 2 meters 50 off the front end of the main field. I think that's Wes Salzberger who's managed to get himself there. But as we said yesterday, Robbie, it's easy to attack, but then to consolidate on the move, it's not quite the same, is it?
Yeah, even the professionals fall into that trap. On a circuit like this, you're moving so fast, you think, wow, I'm doing 65 kilometres an hour. I'm in the 11, I'm just going to wind it up. But to move away from the peloton, it's basically freewheeling, and you're not really getting away. You've got to establish that gap, and it's easy to make that initial jump. But look, he's got 20 metres, and that's about the maximum he's going to get, I'd say.
Yeah, but it's good to see Team Drapac. They've just got in here as a wild card. In the past, it was very difficult for the Aussie teams to get into the World Pro Tour team because of the rules and regulations. This team has been around for a long time. This is payback time for them to come into the big league.
It really is. They've been on the scene for 10 years. They've been dominating in Australian racing, spent some time in Europe, throughout Asia, had a lot of wins. And look, they're just going 1-2, 1-2. This is Darren Lapthorne now, former Australian champion. So Wes Salzberg was sort of setting up this move. He went out there, they chased him, and now Lapthorne hits over the top of that. And he is a very strong rider, an accomplished climber. And it's also going to be difficult for him to get any distance, but you've got to have a go.
Yeah, well, you could just see that. Well, this is a problem.
That's a problem for Greipel.
Yeah, but this is not the problem that he was looking for. He's got a front wheel flat tyre there. The mechanic up alongside him very quickly. Robbie, they've changed the rules when it comes to the ends of the forks here, and it takes a long time now to change the wheel. You've got to unscrew the quick release button to get it back in again. That can be quite vital, especially at 15 kilometres to go for a man like Greipel.
That costs you that extra couple of seconds, and at 60k an hour, that's quite a distance. It's called the lawyer tabs. So if your skewer comes undone, the front wheel can't fall out.
This looks like Stannard on the move, the big man from England. Might do better than the cricketers. Oh, did I say that? Carry on.
As long as no one throws a ball for him to catch, he'll be okay. But I think it's a big ask to go from this far. He's a big, strong guy, but he's also got that big, strong, heavy body to contend with.
It is a big large to get up this hill, isn't it?
Yeah, and I see Matt Heyman got him completely under control. He's an ex-Sky man chasing an old teammate.
Yeah.
We did see that big crash coming through that roundabout at the bottom of the hill. It's always a dangerous spot. Guys are fatigued.
Ooh.
Somebody hasn't seen where they're going. Touch of wheels.
Oh, but it was the Katusha rider's fault as well. He caught the back wheel of a VT, who was not at all happy with that.
So we saw the crash happen. The Katusha rider's going to react. As we see an attack from Richie Port under the 1 kilometre to go. This is where it's all going to happen, Phil.
1 kilometre to go. Richie Port has hit the front here as he tries now to get his tie. He lost a couple of seconds in the finish yesterday, and he's now stretching them out here. And the Oka journey of Gens is about 9 riders back.
I see Port, Haas, Clark, Evans. Simon Gerrans at about 8th. He's in the wheel of Daryl Impey. He's perfectly poised. Richie Port is making this as hard as he can. This is going to set the sprinters' legs absolutely on fire.
Well, that was a good move by Richie Port, and he was set up indeed now as Simon Clark tries to go. As Nathan Haas launches an attack, Simon Clark gets his back wheel. Ulissi is just in behind him here, but look at Cadell Evans. This time, Cadell Evans is looking for the top 3 finish and a time bonus.
And I've just seen Simon Gerrans yell, go to Impey, get in that line. So we've got Haas, Clark, Evans, Impey, Gerrans. Poised on his wheel is Gavazzi, one of the pre-race favourites for a finish like this. But Simon Gerrans looks so fresh and in control.
Now, can he do it again? Gerrans got himself in the same position he got into on the little finish up to Angaston. Daryl Impey is going to try and lead him out. His African friend grits his teeth. And this time, Evans is paying attention. He's going to have a go himself on the left. He's shoulder to shoulder. Gerrans takes a look, sees it's Evans and has to kick again. On the right, it is Simon Gerrans, but Cadell Evans is going. This looks like Ulissi is coming through on the inside as they come up towards the line. Ulissi gets it on the line. Gerrans, Evans, Gavazzi is the order across it. He cannot believe he's a danger man too overall.
He's a very big danger man, a super talented rider, this young Italian. He's won stages in the Giro d'Italia. He's a big name over there. They know him well. People here will now know it too. We see coming up to this finish that Gerrans is poised in 4th position. He gets Impey to lead out. Cadell Evans is determined to take some bonus seconds, staying at the front. Everybody's looking at each other just a little bit. And you notice Ulissi is the first man to jump. He gets that little couple of metres on them, and he's gone. They can't catch him. They're all over on the left-hand side of the road. Ulissi along the barriers in the shadows. But not only that, he's the strongest. He's come past them with a little bit of momentum, starting his sprint a split second earlier. But when you look at the sprint, he looks like he's got the most left in the tank. He's really getting the power on all the way to the line. But Simon Gerrans, if he's not winning, he's right up there too. 2nd place, more bonus seconds, extends his lead over the big favourites.
Yes,
but Ulissi, fantastic win.
I didn't really feel that I could have much hope of winning today because yesterday we've seen that Simon Gerrans is almost unbeatable. But I was very motivated, especially with this kind of finish. But when we went through, I started to get a little bit of an idea that maybe I could be motivated to get the victory in this finish. And so I did a good finish. First course of the year, and the team did a very good job of work for me. And I just have to say thank you very much for them for the work that they did for me.
So today, as Ulissi gets the 10-second bonus, Simon Gerrans gets 6 seconds in 2nd, and Cadell Evans gets 4 seconds for taking 3rd, with Gavazzi there in 4th.
Well, Simon, it looked like you were trying to get yourself the stage victory there, but more importantly, you put time again between yourselves and everybody else.
Yeah, with the exception of Ulissi there, it was great to get a few more seconds there, finishing 2nd. But yeah, hats off to Ulissi. You know, he timed that sprint just perfectly. He got the jump on us there, a bit over 100 metres to go. We couldn't quite catch him again.
And that's how the result stands. Gerrans, Evans, Gavazzi, Hessink in 5th place. Richie Port this time making it in 6th place. And Daryl Impey completing the top 10 with Moreno there in 9th. So let's go down to the podium. There he is, the day's winner, his first time in Australia, and now a stage winner here in the Santos Tour Down Under. And in the Adams Internet Sprint competition, Gerrans still leads this with his consistent finishing, but only by 4 points over Ulissi. He gets to wear the blue jersey.
It's a consistent day for Simon Gerrans once again, but he won't wear that jersey tomorrow. The honour will go to Ulissi.
In the Skoda King of the Mountains, Adam Hansen has a friend alongside him now in a fellow Australian, Will Clark, also on 20 points. But by count back, it is Hansen who goes out in the Skoda leaders jersey tomorrow. For the cycle instead, a young rider classification, Carlos Verona from Amiga Pharma Quickstep still leads in this one, and happy he most certainly is. While in the Europcar most competitive rider, well, can there be any competition? Will Clark leads in this. He's led in 2 long breakaways. But the man in the hot seat is still Simon Gerrans in the Oka Santos jersey. He leads Ulissi by 7 seconds, Greipel by 11, Cadel Evans now up into 4th place. So, for the 3rd day of this tour, tomorrow, as we head out of Corkscrew Hill, Gerrans still on top. And tomorrow, although Norwood and Campbelltown are pretty close together, it's a journey of 145 kilometres and we climb Corkscrew Hill. And Simon Gerrans will have to be pretty vigilant. Until tomorrow, from all of the team here in the finish line at Stirling, it's goodbye.
It's a new style, it's calling you. Why don't you try it on the sides? Take